This time we'll track some motion in a video and attach some graphics to that. In this case, it's going to be this car moving along the road. Let's have a quick look at the project. And we'll attach some animated typography to it as it moves through that space. Let's get into it. New project. And I'm going to add the footage. And create a composition out of that footage. It's quite a long piece of footage with a few different cuts. Feel free to experiment with any of those extra cuts, but this is the shot that I want. So I'm just going to toggle through till I find exactly the start of that cut and find the end of it too. Somewhere there. And let's trim that. Okay, so we've got our footage ready to go. So we're going to be using the tracker again. I've got my tracker open, but we can find the tracker under the window menu. This time though, we're going to be tracking motion inside the frame. So let's select our asset and hit track motion, and we'll get this funny little kind of target on screen there. Let's have a look at our tracking motion options. We want to track the position, rotation, and also scale. So let's turn those on, and it's going to add some more targets. I'm going to zoom in. So this allows us to kind of pinpoint an area in the video, something that's moving, that we want to track. And we need to track 2 points. I'm going to track the headlights of this car. We can change the size of our tracking points, and I'm going to just make sure that that middle frame completely encases that headlight, and our outer frame just takes on a bit more of that information around that, and we'll do the same over here. Oh, come on. A little bit of nudging. That's what I need. And there's also the center point. You can move that, and I'm going to put that right in the middle of that kind of glow. And I think that arrangement is reasonably tight, and hopefully that'll be a good track. Okay, so I forgot to mention that I would have my timeline indicator set to 0, because we need to analyze this footage based on the 2 tracking points that I've added to the the frame there. I'll just zoom out a bit and we'll watch that happen. So to analyze, we come down to this little analyze section here, and we're going to play forward. And so when I hit that, After Effects is going to follow those 2 points along and record all of that that movement in the frame there. And if you zoom in, you can see here that we've captured all of these keyframes essentially. I'm going to add a new layer at this point. I'm going to add a null object, and I'm just going to edit the target so that I'm going to apply that motion to my null object. I'm going to click OK. You'll see here that under the motion tracker, we've got a bunch of different, we've got our tracking point keyframes there, but I'm going to apply those to the null object, and I'm going to do that by hitting apply. and I'm going to apply both the X and Y dimensions to that null object 1. So now you can see that with my null object, I've got position, scale, and rotation properties associated with that null object. You can see the null tracking along with the car there. So we can use the null object's position information and apply that to another layer. So it's kind of like an intermediary. So I'm going to add some text to the canvas. Don't know if that's how you spell Mercedes, I think it is. And I'm going to position that kind of somewhere. I don't know, you guys can play with that. I want it to be a little bit transparent, but I also want it to be kind of in the perspective of the car and the road and our shot generally. So turning that into a 3D layer, and I'm gonna rotate our text in space a little bit, and try and match it up with the car. And I reckon that's not too bad, but maybe fiddle with that a little bit more. Something like that. Okay, so now we just need to parent that text layer to the null object underneath. So make sure you have your parent column visible. Just check your switches there, and we'll parent that to the null. So now that will track along with the null, and it'll kind of increase in size as the car moves forward into the shot. We can also make adjustments as well. So I'm seeing it's kind of coming out of the shot a little bit there. So we'll adjust maybe the position of our text in space. I'm just going to use the null, those toggle points. Yeah. And just lastly, I might add a text animation. If I can find the find my presets. Here we go. And we might, I don't know, fade in by character. Have a look at my animator keyframe. Just make that a bit, come in a bit quicker. Excellent. So that is tracking motion of a subject inside some video.